I can't say when he's had a few, because Len doesn't drink anymore, but just when he's feeling, oh, what the hell. His one and only occasion he met Fleming was set up by the Daily Express, and they went to a restaurant called White Tower or something,
yes,
which was famed for its Greek cuisine, and his speciality was lemons. Were you there?
Yes.
Oh, shit, standing
at that meal.
Were you working or just?
We were studying in London.
Ah, right. So in Greek it's lemon hummus soup or something, and lamb kebabs. And Len was really looking forward to this, especially because the Daily Express was paying. And he said, and the worst thing about it was Ian Fleming just ordered everything on the menu, ignored it, and just smoked and put his fag out. And he said he just wanted, he was not interested in food.
Sounds like Lee Child. He's the same. Coffee and cigarettes.
No, I tell you, Lee is so annoying because he just stuffs himself with cheeseburgers and fags and drinks tequila, and he doesn't put an ounce on.
Well, actually, he's somebody I wonder whether he should be in this.
Yeah.
Because I was asking the Americans in this room, how many Americans think Lee Child is an American? Apparently some Americans
No, he's not, he's English.
Well, exactly, but do Americans say that? And his pride is in the fact that he gets it pitch perfect. He's not going to make any little errors.
So how did you choose? How many writers are in this? 150?
Yeah.
How did you choose? Because there were a lot more than that living.
I tried to get people who people in Britain hadn't heard of necessarily. So not just the Dennis Lehane, not just the George Pelecanos. There's something you live in.
I shall certainly review this. Possibly favourably now.
You do for a fiver?
That was 20. 10. That was 20.
I'm going to be controversial again because you tell me to be. Frederick Forsyth. How many great novels did he write?
2.
1. He writes this one.
Oh, Desafal's good.
Desafal's good, but it's not like Day of the Jackal changes the genre.
Yeah.
But nothing else since, and his books now are kind of, he's not in the room, is he, or his publisher, that's it. His books are now kind of almost juvenile. And they're not, I did have an interview with him, and I said to him, so who's your editor? And he turned to his publicist and said, who's my editor again? I've never met an author who doesn't know who their editor is, which means that he submits a synopsis, like James Patterson now. A synopsis, a few hundred words, which somebody else works up into a novel.
Careful, you're a legend. This.
Turn off your ear. It's just my personal feelings.
There's a famous story that started with Alistair MacLean, who also said that somebody else was writing his stuff.
Well, they still are. There wasn't a period when Alistair MacLean was carrying on.
Oh well, after he died, he left a lot of treatments. In some cases, these were notes to the milkman, but they were all turned into novels. And everybody assumed it was a con, because the author's name was Alistair MacNeil.
That's right.
In the same type, and it looked, if you looked at it quickly.
Which was the idea?
But everybody thought this was no, he exists. He's a real bloke called Alistair MacNeil. He was a student in Sheffield.
Yeah, but why should death slow you down? Because L. Ron Hubbard's written 30 novels since his death.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, but the Alistair MacLean story was a crime editor, a very famous, well-known crime editor, now retired. Her husband worked for Collins, right? And one Friday, in the 70s, late 70s, there arrived by messenger the latest manuscript of the new Alistair MacLean from Switzerland, and it was last thing Friday night. And he said, "Fantastic! I'm going to take this home for the weekend. Nobody will even know it's arrived, right? Because everyone's gone home. And read it over the weekend. Be the first person to read the Alistair MacLean." And he took it home and he read it. I thought that was really good, that. And he took it back on the Monday, sneaked into the in tray, and it went through the process. So 6 months later it came out on the same book. It's completely changed. And it's just about 3 people who had had to go at rewriting. So the trouble is, the first version was the best. MacLean's was really quite good, but MacLean didn't care. Just shut it off.
He took the money and ran.
Yeah.
But he did end up just writing essentially film treatments, did he not?
Yeah.
And,
So who are the ones, is there a particular one you pick out of the ones that we probably haven't heard of among American writers that we
so
should
a writer called Bill Beverly. Now, he's a debut writer. He's a quiet academic who he will speak to, and slightly embarrassed by this amazing success. And I was really pleased that I could get him into the book. I think before Dodgers had won all the awards. It wins an award every half hour.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was really pleased I could get him in. But it's such a fecund field. You like fecund, Peter?
But this time of day,
Such a fecund field, American crime writing now. There are and terrific women talents. And people like...
So how many women have you got in here?
A lot. And here's one, Laura Lippman. Who's read Laura Lippman?
Yes, that's right.
She was just around and just a very good writer, but now I think we see what a really good writer she is. And I think it's just a very healthy... The English thriller is...
Moribund?
Moribund, that's the word?
I put the brakes on in 1975.
What do you think it is? Because there are quite a few writers who are still doing thrillers around terrorism.
There are. But I mean, I've said that was a contained period because it had the war and the influence of the whole, and that was sort of seen through. Then in the mid-70s, and ended with The Eagle Has Landed, which is the classic looking back to the war story. But by that time, the Americans, late as usual, had arrived on the scene. So you'd had Robert Ludlum, Brian Garfield.
The Americans taking offence at that remark.
Oh, was I talking slowly now? Justin Scott, and all these guys were doing, they were out McClaning McLean, and the other one, but sadly, is Hammond Innes was never sort of replaced. Well, it was replaced by Desmond Bagley.
Another forgotten name.
Yeah, most. Are any of? A few of these are presumably still in print, but mostly not.
Very few. Very few. I mean, they're struggling to keep McLean in print.
I know you've got it in print yourself, which you bring back, forgotten titles.
I've done 60 without even trying. In looking too hard.
Yeah.
But some of them do deserve to be forgotten.
And some of them don't, because Mike has republished a writer called Alan Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Who in this room knows Alan Williams? Okay, he's the son of Emily Williams. He probably didn't know
who knows that name,
And they're terrific Ambler-esque, Graham Greene-like thrillers.
I think I've got more Alan Williams covers than anybody else.
Forgotten. He's still alive? You've met him from me.
He's still alive.
How does he feel about being a forgotten man?
He's too drunk to... no, he's not well. He's not a well man, so he's probably all forgotten. He likes to be reminded that he was once a writer, but he had a very short... his last book was published when he was about 42.
It's a short...
Yeah, it was a short but interesting career.
Yeah.
He was a journalist, and his book came out, first book came out the same year as the Ipcress one, and his beat was Cambodia and North Africa and Northern Ireland in the end. But they used to say about him when he was in Algeria, when the French and the Algerian independence was really violent, and he was going there for the Daily Mail or something, and because he used to wear a white safari suit and a white Panama hat, apart from having...
It's always a good idea in a war zone.
Apart from having a big target on his back saying, British journalist, and walk along the front, the harbour walls, and all the other hacks, the other foreign colonists who were in the cafes, just move away from him and then go inside, because they knew that somebody would come round the corner and chuck a hand grenade or something. I've heard this story a number of times. The person who tells it best is Alan Williams. And he said he did it quite deliberately just to see the faces of his colleagues from Fleet Street running. We're not with him, we're not with him.
Okay, we've scarcely scratched the surface really, but we've only got 10 minutes left, so I'm going to take some questions from the audience. If you've got a question or a comment, stick your hand in there. Yes?
Do you have any Canadians in your book?
Do you think I need to do Canada Noir?
Yes.
Oh, there are plenty of Canadians.
Oh, don't encourage him.
Do you think I should be doing the Canadians?
Who are you thinking of?
Well, the title is American, not North.
Yeah,
not North.
South.
Yes. That was interesting because the publisher said, should we call it US Noir?
Yeah.
And I think Americans call themselves American.
Yeah.
But would you like to do a proper noir book? Actually looking at those old noirs.
It's got a film called British Crime Film, which is all about British noir movies, which include things like Brighton Rock, and which is a British noir movie.
Well, noir films are still... The Killer Inside Me was a fantastically dark film based on a horrible, wonderfully horrible book. They are still being made in the movies, but I guess there aren't... Are there a lot of crime writers in America still doing noir?
Yeah, but the problem you just said about doing the films is now any noir film is in inverted commas.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a homage to the great... As Chinatown was. Chinatown was essentially a homage to the great movies of the